We need to communicate. We need to evolve, to transform. We need to create, to collaborate, to disrupt, to listen to each other, to use technology to solve problems. We need to innovate. Hey guys, Renata Sander here from MeetAdvisors.com, and I'm joined with Faun deHenry, founder of Xprtly. Hello.
Hi.
So we're going to jump right in, and I want you to tell our audience in a few sentences, what is Xprtly?
Xprtly is for anyone who has a question, whether it's a coaching question or a career question, or most especially an enterprise software question that they need an answer to right away. For example, let's say you're running payroll and all of a sudden it doesn't work. The system just crashes, and it can. And if checks are due out the next day, you need to solve that problem immediately. So what Xprtly does is it puts you in touch with an expert who can solve your problem.
That's so cool. So Can anyone just go on and ask a question? Do you need an account? How does this work?
Okay, so you download the user app, you create an account, you log in, you indicate what the problem is, and you either say, call me now, call me tomorrow, or I need to schedule an appointment. And that's it.
Who's your target demographic?
The target demographic is people in organizations who, especially small to medium enterprises, that are very lean on IT support help. And they have just as many problems and challenges with software as the larger organizations do, but they don't have as many people in-house to help them. So when a business user gets stuck, they don't always have someone available to them to help them get unstuck. And so that's who Xprtly is initially for.
So why did you start this company? So we always hear people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Yeah.
And so it's not more so of what you do, but what is the why?
I've been in consulting for more years than I care to count. And the problem that we saw with our clients was that they didn't have the resources they needed. The whole thing about faster, cheaper, better. And we can do it with less head count, and things constantly getting cut back. And we'd get these calls. Do you know how to do this? It's like, yeah, we do. What do you need? And sometimes it would be a call that would only last maybe 7 minutes. And, we just answer, we'd answer the question and move on. Sometimes, there was this one. And within this client company, it's known as the call from hell.
Okay.
It lasted 5 hours. There were, by the time we were done, 10 people on the call. And what had happened is it was an enterprise ERP system, an enterprise resource planning system, and a payroll specialist started to run payroll. She realized she'd made a mistake and tried to roll it back, only did it incorrectly. And we got this call, oh my God, what do we do? Payroll's due tomorrow, and we can't figure out how to fix it. And it's like, okay, it's all right, it'll be good.
We'll get it through.
Yeah, and I mean, if I have countless stories like this of, you know, people getting stuck. Enterprise software works really well until it doesn't. And then you're hosed, literally. So the idea was, okay, how can we make this easier? How can we make it so that, one, people get the help they need and they get it quickly, but on the other side, for the consultant, you know, a 6-minute, 7-minute call, you forget, and you don't charge for it, or if you do, you have to round up because of company policy. Well, what if you had a way that captured all of those phone calls, you didn't have to think about it, and just automatically created the billing? Kind of cool. And you don't, you know, from the consultant's perspective, you don't leave money on the table, but from the business user's perspective, he gets the help he needs right away.
Right.
And that's why.
So what are some of the challenges that you've faced growing the business?
Wow.
Or one or two. I've been told people you could write a book.
You could. My experience, where I live is solving problems. That's what I do. Give me a problem, I'll figure out a way to solve it. But then there's marketing, and there's mobile marketing, which is a completely different animal. And so understanding just what it takes to get in front of people, say in a mobile store, in an app store, that's a very different kind of activity. And scaling that, I mean, when did the first mobile app come out? 2006? I mean, it hasn't been around that long.
Yeah.
I mean, almost 10 years, but still, people are just learning how to do that. And that's been one of the biggest challenges, is just understanding what that takes. Gosh, any other challenges I can name?
That's good. It's definitely true, especially going into the mobile space and then innovating and, getting to that next level, that next step. I always hear, what's next. So why is it important to innovate?
Do you want to stay in business?
That's true. All right, there you go.
I can't think of any more compelling reason. I mean, if you don't innovate, you will eventually go out of business. You won't be on the economic landscape. So, you have two choices. You can innovate, or you can go out of business.
There you go. Innovate or die.
There you go.
So as you're innovating, what's next for Xprtly?
It's interesting that you asked that. What I see for Xprtly is that there are enterprise software is just the start. We can go into coaching, and we can connect people with coaches. For example, we ran a test and got a call from got a request from someone who said, I'm quitting my job. Do I send an email to my manager? How do I tell my manager that I'm quitting? And it's like, well, don't send an email. and You know, and the expert, the woman that responded was a really good career coach, really great woman. And she got in touch, you know, she got in touch with this person and said, look, you need to have a conversation with your manager.
Yes.
Do not send an email. And if you're not comfortable having a conversation, then go talk to HR. You know, bring that person in, and then have the conversation. Mm-hmm. And because, I mean, clearly that this young person had no idea what to do. Mm-hmm. So I see coaching as a possibility. Small business coaching, again, taxes, accounting, those mm-hmm. kinds of things. And the one that I'm really excited about is the idea of being able to aggregate all of this data and run it through analysis so that we can understand better what happens in interactions, what makes them successful, what are the keywords or phrases that push an interaction forward, and what are the key words and phrases that create obstacles. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the kind of thing that we think we know, mm-hmm. but we don't really have any empirical data to validate that yes, this is true or not true. So that's the part I'm really excited about is, you know, in 3 to 5 years, having enough anonymous data that we can start running analytics on it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
So, kind of wrapping things up, what advice would you give to someone that is looking to innovate, either in their business or, you know, whatever that may be?
Focus on the problem. Had an interesting conversation with someone, actually a colleague, and he said, I've got a great idea for some software. And he starts, you know, I'll get this database and that middleware, and I'm like, no, stop. What's the problem? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, what is the problem you're trying to solve? Focus on that. I said, everything else will come together, but focus on that. Because that's what innovation really is at its best, is people finding better ways to solve problems. So focus on the problem.
I like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.